Gustafson Barlette with Times Union and TimesUnion.com, and welcome to 20 Things Plus, where we catch up with someone previously featured on the Times Union's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. Today we are joined by Dr. Brent and Josh Kilmer-Purcell. They are the owners and founders of Beekman 1802 in Sharon Springs. Hi, guys.
Hi, Kristi. Good to see you.
You too. Thank you so much for joining us. So here's what we do. You'll update us on two of your original 20 things. We'll learn a few new things about you, and at the end, we'll play a little guessing game to see who's going to be featured next.
Oh, okay.
Oh, games.
All right. So I know you started the company in 2008, and a lot has changed since then. A lot has grown and developed. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, so many people in the capital region know us for our shop in Sharon Springs, New York. The Beekman Mercantile has had a long history in Sharon Springs. William Beekman had his original mercantile there way back 215 years ago. His son had a Beekman Mercantile there. And then we launched the Beekman Mercantile there when we moved to Sharon Springs. And it just continues to grow. And, it was so exciting this past year, right before everything went crazy with COVID. We actually did a partnership with the TV show Schitt's Creek and completely rebranded the Mercantile for a short period of time as the Rose Apothecary from that show.
People who watch Schitt's Creek know that the main store there is Rose Apothecary, and we rebranded, put the signage outside. We took our signage down, put Rose Apothecary up outside, brought products that would have been on Schitt's Creek, and it was huge. Just tens of thousands of people came to visit Sharon Springs and be part of the show.
That is fun. You've done so much for Sharon Springs with the business, and then you think, oh, you did even more. And even at this time when obviously the economy was changing and everything else. So that's very cool. Speaking of Schitt's Creek and TV, you were known for the Fabulous Beekman Boys, and then you won CBS's Amazing Race. And while those shows are obviously in your past, you're still doing TV. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, it's so funny because, each of those things had their own audience. Of course, our little TV show on Planet Green, and then the Amazing Race. But nothing has been bigger TV-wise than being on QVC and HSN because both of those channels are in about 100 million homes. And when we're on those channels, we do about 8 hours of live TV a day when we're on those channels. I know. And it's so wonderful because not only do we get to tell our story to all those people, but we get to tell the story of Sharon Springs and upstate New York. And so many people who watch us on QVC or HSN then come to visit Sharon Springs.
And what's been wonderful about this time of COVID, because there are some good things that have happened, we've been able to broadcast directly from Sharon Springs. So we've been broadcasting into 100 million homes directly from our mercantile in Sharon Springs.
And the nice thing is too, home shopping networks and that kind of style of shopping has been popular for a long time, but I feel like now that so many people are home, it's even more popular.
You're right.
You want to see. And it's nice that you two are there both promoting your own products, because people would feel like it's a little bit of a show too, in the sense that they're getting to know you. It's not a host presenting your products, you are presenting your products.
That's absolutely right. We get to tell the story. We get to bring the baby goats and hold the baby goats. And we always try to think of every hour that we're on QVC or HSN as we're putting on an entertaining show for the people who are watching. Even if people don't decide to buy that particular time, we still want them to have left the episode feeling better about themselves, feeling happier, and feeling the kindness that we always try to promote.
And we'll get to one of the things you're doing with kindness in a minute, but I think when you bring baby goats to a show, who doesn't want to tune in, because they're just adorable. So
I know, and you never know what they're going to do. Like they eat something. The last show we were doing, they ate my microphone twice. Yeah, while we were in the middle of the show, like all the sound went down.
Yeah.
Well, that's adorable, and I love seeing them on your website. You have that live webcam, don't you? So people can watch the
That's
goats.
right.
We do. We have live baby goat camps. It's 24/7. You can check out what the baby goats are doing.
That's so fun. All right, and now on to your three new things. As if your partnership with Schitt's Creek wasn't enough, you had another big partnership in a big retailer. What's going on there?
That's right. So last July, we launched our brand new probiotic skincare line with Ulta. It launched in 400 Ulta stores across the US. And I will just give a plug that our #1 store in all the Ulta chain is in Schenectady, New York. So we're super proud of the team there at the Schenectady Ulta.
But of course, it was a huge challenge to have a launch in the middle of the pandemic, because normally what would happen when a brand launches in Ulta, we would go visit every store or as many stores as we could to teach the employees and the customers about the brand. But we were not able to do that, to travel, of course. So we had to come up with new ways of spreading that kindness, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But it was such an amazing experience to be able to bring Beekman 1802 around the country and really get the reactions from people all over.
And we've spent so many years, about the past 3 years, researching and developing the probiotic skincare line. And it was so great to have a partner like Ulta who could then help us communicate that message to people and really help people learn about how to take better care of their skin. And I'm still so amazed every day that I wake up and get to come to work, that, this little company that started on Main Street in Sharon Springs, our headquarters are in Schenectady, New York, that people across the country, whether it's on QVC or HSN or now Ulta, are using products that get their start right here in upstate New York. And I think we're just so proud about that.
Well, and I also think the Ulta Partnership, and you talk about the Schenectady store, which is in Mohawk Commons, doing so well. Sometimes people say you can't shop local by shopping bigger retailers, but that's a great example of you can. And the nice thing too is, I know some retailers maybe say they require a certain amount for free shipping. Ulta's still doing curbside pickup. So if people don't necessarily want to go in, they could try 1 or 2 of your products to start out, do curbside, and you get it. You're supporting a local business, and you're kind of trying something new too for your skin. So it's nice all around.
That's absolutely right. You know your stuff, Kristi. You've been doing your research.
I know my beauty stuff, but I know it better. But in the last year of doing these videos, I've started to learn a little bit more about it. All right, and now you talked about kindness. I think one of the quotes I had read from, was it you, Dr. Brent, about something, if life gives you lemons, you turn it into lemonade, but if life gives you goats, you can change the world, right? And
That's right.
that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's
and I know
right.
you've been working to change the world. All these things you've said are examples of that, but you've really worked to spread kindness over the last year. And I think kindness is obviously always important, but we've especially seen it in the last year when it's been so tumultuous, where there's a lot of kind people, but there's also a lot of very angry people. So
Yes.
you've kind of worked to focus on the kindness. And what have you done with that?
Well, that's right. And I'm so glad you pointed that out. And it was actually Ulta who helped us kind of crystallize that message, because, since the very beginning of our company now 12 years ago, we've always talked about the fundamentals of our company being working hard, never quit, and help your neighbor. And so Ulta kind of challenged us to think, how can you make that a shorter idea? Like, how can you communicate that in a more succinct way? And we're like, you know what? I think what makes the Beekman neighborhood so powerful is that we're all focused on kindness and being kind to one another, being kind to our community, being kind to the environment, being kind to our skin.
So we really wanted to focus our energies last year on kindness. As you say, it was a tough year for everybody. There was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of fear. There's a lot of things going on. And so we wanted to get kindness out in the world in the biggest way we could. So we did several things.
Yeah, and like as Josh was saying, when we launched in Ulta, we normally would have gone to visit a lot of the stores, but because of COVID, we couldn't do that. And so then we thought, okay, well, how can we communicate this idea of kindness to all of the Ulta team members?
So if we're shipping goat milk to all the stores, what goes best with milk?
Cookies.
But we didn't just send a big batch of cookies we bought from somewhere, anywhere, and sent them all over.
So what our team did was they found a local mom and pop bakery near the location of every Ulta store that we were going in. It was a massive undertaking to identify 400 small bakeries
around the country.
And then we hired those bakeries to make and deliver the cookies to their local Ulta store. So not only did we help support that small mom and pop bakery, but then that bakery got to introduce themselves to all the Ulta employees when they delivered the cookies. And so it really did help us reinforce that idea of working hard, never quit, help your neighbor, but also support your own community and support kindness at the same time.
One of the things we noticed in the last year is, I think some of us kind of took, maybe it's people who work in stores or cashiers or staffers for granted. You just thought, well, I go in there and they make it so I can make my purchase. And I think one thing we learned to realize is that's a version of a frontline worker because they were going out there every single day, wearing their mask for 8 or more hours a day, helping people at a time when they were scared and uncertain. So to kind of show that appreciation, I think that that's something they're so deserving of it too.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely. And think about, pre-vaccine, that was really scary to be there every day trying to help people get their groceries, get whatever supplies that they needed, and not knowing enough about the virus to know how it was going to impact your life personally and your health. That was a really scary thing for retail workers.
And it was just also just the best way to show the Ulta employees what Beekman was about. They actually saw kindness in person. They got to taste it, with the cookies.
And then it also helped us understand a brand new kind of hallmark of Beekman 1802. We kind of became famous with all the Ulta employees about sending these cookies to them. And so now every time that we have a new product launch in Ulta, we're going to deliver cookies with every product launch. And so we just had another big launch of our Bloom Boosters last week. And we worked with Corso's Cookies based out of Syracuse, New York. And they did these amazing iced sugar cookies that had little goats on them, and they did the drawings of our product. And they actually got to bake the cookies for every single Ulta store. So that was a huge thing for Corso's, based right here in Syracuse.
That's very cool. And I think you've set a precedence now. So every Ulta employee is going to be thinking, I need to sign up for the shift during the launch because I need those cookies.
That's right. That's
Exactly.
Right.
Very cool. Okay. And then your third and final one is, like all of us, you've spent a lot of time at home the last year. And as if you two haven't already been productive ever since you've owned Beekman 1802, you've been even more productive the last year, right? With some renovations and things like that. What have you been doing around your home?
Well, that's right.
Yeah, we were super fortunate that during the pandemic, we had just started renovations on our 200 and plus year old house. And very fortunate, the contractor that we brought on, he worked with his wife. So they were able to continue working throughout the pandemic and safely with each other. And we remodeled our kitchen and our bathrooms. And it was just a great project to have for the year because, as you know, we were all home a lot.
Yeah, and the other thing we did is we really started planning out the gardens more on the farm because we knew, or we didn't know, but we presumed that we'd still be doing social distancing. We still wouldn't be able to do huge events, like the Rose Apothecary or even our Harvest Festival, which we typically do. So we started thinking about ways that we could do smaller, more intimate events on the farm throughout the season. And so we partnered with the plant company Proven Winners to start planning out the gardens on the farm. So now we can do these small tours of the farm throughout the growing season, where people can come and look at the beautiful flowers on the farm. They can go into the vegetable garden. They can play with the goats all throughout the season. And we planned, I think, about 10 or 15 different experiences that have already started now with the baby goat tours and will go all the way through the fall.
Well, I think I remember from your original 20 Things, which I believe was in 2018, weren't you getting about 85% of your own food for your own house from the garden, right?
We do. We still grow all our own food and trade with our neighbors for everything we don't have.
And in fact, during the entire past year of COVID, we have been to the grocery store 7 times because, we buy our toilet paper and things like that off of Amazon, but like for groceries, we went 7 times because we can so much, we freeze so much, we dehydrate things, and we just had a huge stockpile of stuff.
I cannot wait to go out and support a local restaurant.
We're excited. We're excited. As soon as we get the vaccine, we're going out to eat.
And I was going to say, and now that restaurants are going up to 75% too, I think that will be great for restaurants. So are you able to tell me what the first restaurant is you'll go to?
Ooh, it might be something in Sharon Springs. So either the American Hotel or 204 Bistro, Brimstone Bakery, Black Cat. We have 4 restaurants.
Or by the office here.
What's that?
Or by the office.
Schenectady, yeah.
Right by the office here. Yeah. We've got
Michael's, Druthers, Shaker and Vine. So many choices.
Yes, Schenectady has a lot of great choices too. All right, very cool. Well, before I let you go, at this point in 20 Things Plus, we play a little game where I give you 3 clues to try to guess who will be featured on Monday's 20 Things.
No.
Oh, I'm bad at this.
Oh, God. Okay.
Well, let me reassure you by saying about 80% of the time people don't guess it. The person, the guest.
Okay.
So you'll be in the majority if you don't. But viewers can also take guesses by tweeting me at Just Kristi, tweeting the Times Union, or commenting on this video on the Times Union's Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook. So here we go. And I tried to pick 3 clues that were a little visual and a little telling to hopefully help you.
Oh, okay.
Oh gosh.
So listen for names. Before I went to NYU for journalism, I majored in musical theater for my undergraduate degree. Now I harmonize with meteorologist Matt Mackey during commercial breaks. Ted's fish fry is a big crowd pleaser. Okay. I have been both blonde and brunette during my life, but I feel most myself as a redhead. It suits my personality best. And
Is this a newscaster? Because yes, I can see her.
All right, well, you have one more clue, which probably isn't going to help you the last clue, but I chose it because I just love it because it's so random. So here we go. I was a hostess at a steakhouse when I first moved to New York City, and I had celebrity encounters there. One night, Alec Baldwin ate at the restaurant, and then bizarrely, he came back the following day to return a napkin that he accidentally stole. So that one's probably not going to help you, but I just had to share it because it's so weird.
Are you
That's
sure?
a good
Are you
story.
sure?
Did he autograph it for her?
I
You
know.
sure it's a woman?
Is it a woman or a man?
No, you're
It's
right.
a woman, right? Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna know.
Yeah, I won't know.
Okay.
But how are we gonna find out?
Somebody's going to know these. The people on
So-
Twitter will know this.
Yes, and I will tell you one other thing. Her husband calls her Stat Stephanie because she loves to rattle off stats whenever they have a disagreement or an argument. She'll say, well, no, here's to support my point. So that gives you one other
Oh my
clue
God.
that her name is Stephanie. And
That's what I was going to say.
but did you log on to timesunion.com starting Monday morning? It will be up on our website live with her gallery and 20 things you don't know about me. So thank you again, Dr. Brent and Josh. I really appreciate it. And when the weather gets nice, I've got to come out and see those goats because they're adorable on the website. So thanks
You've
again.
absolutely got
Anytime.
to. And thanks, Kristi. And thanks, neighbors. Have a good weekend.